A great change of our psychological attitude is imminent. That is certain.
Why?
Because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself. He is the great danger, and we are pitifully unaware of it. We know nothing of man, far too little. His psyche should be studied, because we are the origin of all coming evil.
Carl Jung's philosophy of the shadow self is a fundamental concept in his theory of the human psyche. According to Jung, the shadow represents the unconscious part of the mind that contains the aspects of ourselves we suppress or reject. These can include negative traits like anger, greed, or jealousy, but also positive qualities that do not align with our ideal self-image. The shadow forms as individuals conform to societal norms or personal ideals, and parts of their true selves are hidden in the unconscious. Jung believed that confronting the shadow is essential for psychological growth and self-awareness. He called this process shadow integration, where individuals acknowledge and accept the repressed parts of their personality. By doing so, one can achieve a more balanced and authentic self. Denying or ignoring the shadow can lead to inner conflict, projection of one's flaws onto others, and even psychological issues. The shadow can manifest in dreams, irrational behavior, or strong emotional reactions, often revealing what has been hidden from conscious awareness. In Jung's view, the shadow is not inherently evil or bad, but rather a natural part of the psyche that, if understood and integrated, can lead to greater wholeness. By facing the shadow, individuals can reclaim the energy used to suppress these traits and redirect it toward creative or constructive pursuits. Jung believed that this process of integrating the shadow is crucial to achieving individuation, the journey of becoming a fully realized and unique individual. The shadow concept also extends beyond individuals to collective groups, where societies or cultures suppress certain aspects of human nature. Jung suggested that mass movements or ideologies often scapegoat others, projecting their collective shadow onto different groups. Therefore, both personal and societal shadows need to be understood and confronted to promote harmony within the individual and between people.
Is supposed to be the representative of the real person. But as I say, for instance, in the case where B knows of A, but A doesn't know of B, in that case, one would say the ego is more on the side of C, because the ego has a more complete knowledge, and A is a split-off personality. You see, when I say self, then you mustn't think of I, myself, because that is only your empirical self, and that is covered by the term ego. But when it is matter of the self, then it is matter of a personality that is more complete than the ego, because the ego is only consists of what you are conscious of.
Carl Jung's philosophy about the ego centers on its role as the conscious part of the human psyche, responsible for personal identity, decision-making, and awareness of the external world. The ego, according to Jung, mediates between the internal world of unconscious drives and the external world of reality. It gives individuals a sense of continuity and coherence, allowing them to perceive themselves as distinct beings. However, while the ego is crucial for navigating daily life, Jung argued that it only represents a small part of the psyche. Jung emphasized that the ego is not the entirety of the self, but a limited aspect of it. It operates within the conscious mind and is shaped by personal experiences, memories, and perceptions, which create a narrative of who we are. However, this narrative is often incomplete because the unconscious contains many aspects of the self that the ego is unaware of or chooses to ignore. Jung saw the ego as the center of consciousness, but not the center of the total psyche, which includes the unconscious mind, where forces like the shadow, anime, animus, and the collective unconscious reside. In Jung's framework, The development of the ego is a necessary step in psychological growth, but it can also become overly dominant, leading to a sense of isolation or over-identification with one's persona, the social mask. When the ego becomes inflated or overly rigid, it may resist integrating unconscious elements, which can cause psychological distress. Jung believed that true self-realization requires transcending the ego by integrating it with the deeper, unconscious aspects of the psyche, a process he referred to as individuation. Jung also noted the importance of the ego's relationship with the self, which he defined as the totality of the psyche, encompassing both conscious and unconscious elements. While the ego is concerned with navigating the outer world, the self represents the deeper, unified identity of an individual. In Jung's view, the ultimate goal of psychological development is for the ego to come into alignment with the self, allowing for a more harmonious, integrated and authentic life.
What else then, you see? And I hated that fellow. And that was the only man I could have killed, you know. If I had met him once at the dark corner, I would have shown him something of what I could do.
Did you often have violent thoughts about people when you were young?
No, not exactly. Only when I got mad. Well, then I beat them up.
And did you often get mad?
Not so often, but then for good.
You were very strong and big, I imagine.
Yes, I was pretty strong. And you know, reared in the country with those peasant boys, it was a rough kind of life. And I would have been capable of violence, I know. I was a bit afraid of it. So I rather tried to avoid critical situations because I didn't trust myself. Once I was attacked by about 7 boys, and I got mad. And I took one and just swung him around with his legs, you know, and beat down 4 of them. And then they were satisfied.
Jung believed that true psychological growth comes from integrating these elements, embracing the shadow, and ensuring the ego does not become overly identified with the persona. By achieving this balance, individuals can move toward individuation and live more authentic, harmonious lives. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Hidden Eye channel for more insights into the mind and soul. May your dreams and aspirations manifest.